Good morning. This is Angela with Permaculture. It's early in the morning. I'm obviously still in bed. Not that I haven't gotten up and done chores, but my kids are still asleep. I've got a bed head. I'm in my jammies, and I am working on knitting and listening to a podcast. And I'm also intermittently scrolling my Facebook page. So I have a business Facebook page, and it is something that comes with the territory that you are exposed to an inundation of memes when you use social media. When you have a Facebook page, a lot of that is resharing memes that are, little quips and commentary and sound bites on popular culture or hot button issues, right? Something that you feel needs to have attention drawn to it. And nobody wants to read a giant dissertation. So you distill it down into a meme. Memes can also just be humorous, but most of the way that I utilize memes on social media is as a social commentary or to illustrate a point about permaculture and sustainable living. My dog has decided he's going to roll over. Hang on a second. Now, I have a number of YouTube videos that kind of dissect and break down memes because I think that there can be good messages and there can be memes that have good intentions, but are really lacking in kind of nuance and effective understanding of a subject, right? An effective implementation of whatever plan or vision is being promoted in the meme. And you might say, like, Angela, it's just a meme. It can't encompass everything about a subject. And that's absolutely correct, right? But at the same time, I think it's important to dissect and analyze memes because they are a social commentary, or they are, I think, something that people use, especially I want to say like Americans or people in the middle class or people who feel very comfortable in their lives, use memes as a way to feel like they are doing good. Like sharing a meme is my social justice, right? But sharing a meme is not a solution. And I think a lot of times when people are sharing these memes, they're like, yes, I'm doing good. I'm getting upset about something that is not going the way it's supposed to go. And I'm speaking out, and that is doing a good thing. And that's one of the reasons that I think it's so important to kind of analyze memes and address the deep flaws in them, because sharing your meme is insufficient, and often your meme itself is insufficient and misses the mark. So while it may make you feel good inside, it's not working towards solutions. And permaculture is solution-based. Permaculture is not a fantasy. It is not a way forgive my little bit of sass here, but for non-melanated, affluent liberals to feel good about the way they're living their lives, right? Meme sharing reminds me a little bit of recycling in America. It is very performative. And so I'm practicing permaculture and I want to be solution-based. Like, how do we use memes as a starting point to actually work towards solutions? And how do we use memes as a launching off point to say, okay, what are the good things here? What are the flaws here? And what would it look like if we took the sentiment in this meme and we actually work towards solutions? So that's why I personally really love dissecting memes. And I really love analyzing the flaws therein and like the good, hopeful messages. And how do we get to a place where we implement solutions from this starting point? Sharing memes, not social justice, not environmental justice. It is a starting point for a conversation. And that's why I share memes on my page a lot, because I think it is the beginning of a process that could get us somewhere. How do we utilize everything as a tool? How do we say this isn't a wasteful exercise? How do we say this is a resource that we can use to get us where we need to go as a society? So as I'm scrolling through my Facebook feed and I'm replying to people who've commented on my posts, I see a meme. It has like multiple different iterations, but it's all the same message. And it is a meme saying, less of this or not this and more of this, comparing a fast food chain to farmers markets. And I'm seeing this shared by pages that I don't follow that have names like self-healing and pure nutrition and, like healthy living for life, or one that is, I won't share their name, but I know they are a page that is run in another country that has anti-American propaganda, but they're followed by a lot of people in America who don't really realize what is getting posted in between the quippy memes. That's a whole other topic. So this this meme is getting shared, and I find it really interesting because it's against, and I find it really interesting because at the same time, I'm seeing a lot of backlash against McDonald's for their behavior around the conflict in Palestine and the mass unaliving of Palestinians. And so I find it interesting that this meme is getting shared, not from pages that are pro-Palestine, but simply out of their interest in clean eating, clean living. Wellness pages that promote kind of toxic wellness culture. But is there something here, right? And I think it's really easy to say, less eating fast food and more shopping at the farmer's market. That's a really easy sentiment to put out there. And you can feel really good and morally superior about it. But why is it that people are eating at McDonald's and getting their $1.29 hamburger and they're not shopping at the farmer's market? Like, this meme is not a solution. The reason that people eat that way is because they live in a food desert, because fast food is cheap, because the labor of fast food workers is subsidized by the fact that they're not paid a living wage, and most of them have to access a social safety net like food stamps or WIC or other forms of SNAP or TANF, right? Because those chains refuse to pay a living wage, their wages are subsidized by the taxpayers, and that means they can charge less for their food. Your local farmers at the local farmers market are growing their own food, and they are trying to pay themselves and their family a living wage. And they are not subsidized in the same way that mega corporations are. Food is more expensive. You're going to the farmer's market, you're buying whole raw ingredients that have to be brought home and cooked. They have to be processed in a way that we can consume them. They have to, and the people who are buying them have to have the time and the ability to drive to the farmer's market, wander around, enjoy the experience. I love farmer's markets. I have a video about when we went to one the other week. I've actually been going every week, and how important they are for a robust local food economy. But if people can't afford to buy the food, they don't have the time to do the luxury shopping, and they don't have the time and the ability to cook that food, they aren't going to be able to access that benefit of the local food economy. And they're going to be eating the cheap, lower nutrition food that is subsidized by the government. The people aren't getting the subsidy, the corporation is. So when I see these memes, like, they're very simplistic, they're very unnuanced, and they are put out in a way that makes people who can afford to shop at farmers markets and eat whole fruits and vegetables that are locally grown feel morally superior, right? There are real valid criticisms of fast food restaurants and the low nutrition in those food products. But as I say repeatedly on my YouTube channel and on my Facebook page, we should be criticizing the systems that are not set up for sustainability and equity, not criticizing the people who have no choice but to participate in those systems. And this is yet another example. Please don't post things like, well, then you're responsible for your illness, right? You are responsible for your own health, because there are myriad factors that make people not able to purchase optimum nutrition. And sometimes people just don't want to. Like, sometimes I want to eat junk food. Sometimes I want to eat food that is not always the best for my body. And that's okay. We need to not work to blame individuals, and we need to not be so glib as to say, shop at the farmer's market, it's the better option. We need more farmer's market shopping and less fast food chains. Like, maybe that's true, but without the ability of a meme to analyze all of the structural inequalities, all of the processes, all of the profit, all of the players that feed in to having created a system that looks like this to begin with, we're not going to move towards sustainability. I think it can be very tempting in permaculture to do the grow your own, eat whole foods, eat local foods. By whole foods, I don't mean the grocery chain that's owned by Amazon. I mean whole foods, nutritious foods that are not highly processed. It can be very easy to say that and express that sentiment. It is much more difficult for people trapped in American culture to access that reality. And if we want permaculture, if we want resilience, if we want a society that is just, equitable, that has earth care, people care, fair share, has access to nutrition, and reduces harm for the environment, we have to go farther than this meme. We have to go farther than feeling really good if we have the privilege to already shop at a farmer's market. And we have to look at how we change whole systems. Our individual choices are well and good for us, but not everybody has the ability to access those choices. And if we want sustainable societies, we need systemic change. So I hope you enjoyed this little bit of a rant early in the morning when I'm not even fully caffeinated. And I hope you can find the opportunity to use those memes as a learning tool, a teaching tool, a launching off point for conversation, but that we don't use memes as a solution. We don't keyboard warrior it, and we don't excuse ourselves from looking for real solutions because we shared a quippy meme, or we don't see memes and what they're expressing as an actual solution. I hope that we, as people who earnestly strive for resilient living, who earnestly strive to regenerate our society, regenerate our relationship with the planet, that we go deeper. We are willing to peel back the layers of the onion. We are willing to analyze in a way that is critical and that is introspective of our own privilege, and is willing to look at the flaws in the system and say, the real question here is, the real conversation here is, how do we get systemic change? Not how do we as individuals feel good about what we're already doing. So thanks for watching today. If you have a meme that you think I would enjoy looking at, I would love to hear it. Please feel free and message me on my Facebook profile, or please feel free and link to it down below. I would love to hear your thoughts and comments on this subject, and thank you for letting me rant today. Please don't forget to click like and subscribe, and I will be back soon with another video after I am sufficiently caffeinated. Bye-bye.